The sacred calendar. When heaven chooses your birth date. Have you ever felt the haunting whisper in your soul that tells you your birth was no mere accident? That the precise moment you drew your first breath was orchestrated by cosmic forces beyond human comprehension? Tonight, we venture into the shadowed realm where time itself becomes a sacred language, where your birthday is not just a number on a calendar, but a mystical key that unlocks the deepest secrets of your divine purpose. If you have always sensed that you were born for something extraordinary, that your very existence carries the weight of ancient prophecy, then prepare yourself for revelations that will forever change how you perceive your place in the cosmic order. There exists a hidden scripture written in the stars themselves, a celestial manuscript where certain birth dates pulse with otherworldly significance, marking souls who have been chosen for missions that transcend ordinary human experience. What you are about to discover may explain why you have always felt different, why you carry burdens others cannot understand, and why your heart yearns for a purpose that seems to dwarf the mundane concerns of daily life. The universe has been waiting for this moment when you would finally understand the sacred significance of the day heaven selected for your arrival. The ancient mysteries of divine timing. Deep within the forgotten archives of biblical wisdom lies a profound truth that most dare not explore. Your birth date carries within it the encrypted signature of divine intention. When Jeremiah received the cosmic revelation in chapter 1, verse 5, where the Almighty declared, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart," he was unveiling a mystery that would remain hidden for millennia. This was not mere poetic language, but a literal description of how celestial intelligence operates through the sacred mathematics of time itself. The ancient Hebrews understood what modern civilization has forgotten, that numbers are not merely tools for counting, but vessels carrying the very essence of divine communication. Their calendar was not a simple tracking system, but a sophisticated spiritual technology that synchronized human existence with the rhythmic heartbeat of cosmic consciousness. Every feast day, every Sabbath, every moment of celebration was precisely calibrated to align with supernatural frequencies that could transform ordinary mortals into conduits of divine power. Consider the mysterious precision with which biblical prophecies unfolded through specific dates and times. The prophecy in Micah chapter 5, verse 2, which pinpointed Bethlehem as the birthplace of the Messiah, was not a general prediction, but a cosmic coordinate system operating with supernatural accuracy. When we examine these ancient patterns, we begin to recognize that certain birth dates serve as mystical portals through which heaven intervenes in earthly affairs, selecting specific souls to carry forward the eternal purposes of divine will. The number 7, which appears throughout Scripture as a symbol of completion and perfection, reveals how deeply embedded numerical mysticism is within the fabric of spiritual reality. From the 7 days of creation to the 7 churches of Revelation, we see a pattern of divine organization that extends far beyond coincidence. Your birth date, when properly understood through this mystical lens, becomes a sacred coordinate that reveals not only who you are, but what cosmic forces have been orchestrating your existence since before time began. The supernatural architecture of sacred dates. Within the celestial blueprint of existence, certain dates vibrate with frequencies so powerful they can only be described as otherworldly. These are not random occurrences, but carefully orchestrated moments when the veil between dimensions grows thin, allowing divine essence to imprint itself upon newly formed souls. The March 3rd birth date carries within its mystical structure an explosion of creative energy that connects directly to the burning bush experience of Moses in Exodus chapter 3, verse 3, where divine fire revealed itself without consuming its vessel. Those who enter this world on March 3rd are marked by an otherworldly connection to healing energies that flow through dimensions most cannot perceive. They possess an uncanny ability to sense the spiritual ailments that plague human souls, often finding themselves drawn to creative expressions that serve as conduits for supernatural restoration. Their artistic endeavors are not mere entertainment, but sacred ceremonies that channel celestial healing into a world desperate for divine intervention. These individuals often report experiencing intense spiritual downloads on their birthdays, receiving visions and inspirations that guide their creative work throughout the coming year. The May 5th birth date resonates with the frequency of divine favor described in Psalm 5, verse 12, where the righteous are surrounded by God's protection like an impenetrable shield. Souls born on this mystical date seem to live under a supernatural umbrella of grace, where miraculous interventions become so commonplace they begin to expect divine protection as their natural state of being. Their lives are punctuated by inexplicable escapes from danger, last-minute rescues that defy logical explanation, and providential encounters that redirect their paths in ways that can only be described as supernatural orchestration. When we encounter the mystical energy of July 7th, we step into the realm of the Sacred Seven, where spiritual completion and divine perfection converge in human form. These individuals are born with an innate understanding of cosmic order that others spend lifetimes trying to achieve. They are natural seekers of hidden wisdom, drawn to explore the deepest mysteries of existence with an intensity that often sets them apart from ordinary society. The Book of Revelation's reference to 7 stars and 7 candlesticks in chapter 1, verse 20, speaks directly to the mystical architecture that governs these souls, marking them as vessels for divine illumination in a world shrouded in spiritual darkness. The prophetic power of September's sacred days. The September 9th birth date carries within its numerical structure the profound wisdom of completion and divine purpose described in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1, where we learn that there is a time for everything under heaven. Those born on this mystical date possess a supernatural ability to perceive the hidden patterns that govern human existence, allowing them to guide others through life's most challenging transitions with wisdom that seems to flow from ancient sources. They are the cosmic counselors, the divine timekeepers who help lost souls find their proper place within the eternal sequence of divine purpose. These individuals often report experiencing prophetic dreams on their birthdays, receiving visions that reveal the underlying spiritual significance of upcoming life events. Their ability to help others understand the deeper meaning behind their struggles and triumphs makes them natural spiritual advisors, sought out by those who sense that their lives are guided by forces beyond their comprehension. They serve as living bridges between the seen and unseen worlds, helping others recognize the hand of divine providence in even the most seemingly random circumstances. September 9th, souls frequently find themselves in positions where they must help others navigate major life transitions, from career changes to spiritual awakenings to the passage from life to death. Their presence brings a sense of cosmic order to chaotic situations, and their words carry a weight that seems to come from beyond their own knowledge and experience. They are the divine facilitators, helping the universe complete its work in the lives of those they encounter. The Christmas miracle of divine selection. The December 25th birth date carries within its mystical essence the very frequency of miraculous love described in John chapter 3, verse 16, where divine sacrifice becomes the gateway to eternal life. Souls born on this most sacred of dates are marked by an otherworldly capacity for selfless service. Their very existence serving as a living reminder of heaven's unconditional love for humanity. They are the earthly angels, walking among us as constant testimonies to the transformative power of divine grace. These Christmas souls often find themselves drawn to acts of service that seem to flow naturally from their innermost being, as if they were born with an internal compass that always points toward opportunities to heal, help, and restore. Their presence in any situation tends to elevate the spiritual atmosphere, bringing peace to conflict and hope to despair in ways that often defy logical explanation. They are living embodiments of the Christmas spirit, carrying within their hearts a flame of divine love that burns throughout the year, not just during the holiday season. Many December 25th souls report experiencing profound spiritual visitations on their birthdays, moments when they feel the presence of angelic beings or receive direct communication from divine sources. These experiences serve to remind them of their sacred mission and provide them with the spiritual fuel necessary to continue their earthly ministry of love and service. They are the chosen vessels through which heaven demonstrates its ongoing commitment to the redemption and restoration of humanity. If these mystical revelations are stirring something deep within your soul, if you recognize yourself among these descriptions of divinely chosen birth dates, then you have discovered your spiritual family. Subscribe to the Light of Wisdom and activate that notification bell to ensure you never miss our transmissions from the realm of sacred mysteries. We explore the hidden truths that mainstream spirituality fears to acknowledge, providing guidance for those brave enough to embrace their divine calling. Your subscription empowers us to continue unveiling these cosmic secrets for souls ready to step into their destined roles as agents of divine transformation. The hidden signs of celestial selection. Beyond the mystical significance of specific birth dates lies a deeper realm of supernatural indicators that mark souls who have been chosen for divine missions that transcend ordinary human experience. These signs often manifest as inexplicable feelings of displacement, as if you were born into a world that operates on frequencies you cannot quite synchronize with. From earliest childhood, you may have sensed that you were observing life from the outside, watching others engage in activities and conversations that felt strangely foreign to your inner nature. This sense of otherworldly displacement is not a psychological disorder, but a spiritual marker indicating that your soul originates from realms beyond earthly existence. Like Joseph in the book of Genesis, whose prophetic dreams set him apart from his brothers and marked him for a destiny that would ultimately save nations, your differentness is actually a divine signature, identifying you as one who has been selected for purposes that require you to remain partially detached from the gravitational pull of ordinary human consciousness. The persistent feeling of carrying knowledge or abilities that seem to come from sources beyond your earthly education is another powerful indicator of divine selection. You may find yourself knowing things without having learned them through conventional means, or possessing insights into human nature and spiritual realities that seem far beyond your years or experience. This supernatural knowing is not something you developed, but something you brought with you from before your birth, a residual memory of your pre-earthly existence where you received briefings about the mission you would undertake in human form. Another profound sign of celestial choosing is the recurring experience of what might be called divine interventions, moments when circumstances align in ways that seem to defy statistical probability. These are not mere coincidences, but evidence of active supernatural oversight of your life path. You may have noticed that doors open for you in impossible situations, that you receive unexpected help precisely when you need it most, or that you find yourself in exactly the right place at precisely the right moment with a frequency that transcends chance. The supernatural gifts of the divinely chosen. Those who have been marked for divine service often discover within themselves abilities that operate beyond the boundaries of conventional human limitations. These gifts are not talents that can be developed through practice alone, but supernatural endowments that activate when the soul reaches sufficient spiritual maturity to handle their power responsibly. The gift of spiritual discernment allows chosen individuals to perceive the invisible energies that surround people, places, and situations, providing them with information that guides their decisions and protects them from deception. Some chosen souls discover they possess the ancient gift of healing, not through medical training, but through a supernatural ability to channel divine restoration into broken bodies, minds, and spirits. This healing power often manifests spontaneously during moments of crisis, when their compassion for suffering becomes so intense that it creates a conduit through which heaven's restorative energy can flow. They may find that their touch brings comfort, their words carry unusual power to encourage and uplift, or their presence alone seems to create an atmosphere where miraculous recoveries become possible. The prophetic gift is another hallmark of divine selection, manifesting as the ability to perceive future events, understand the hidden meaning behind current circumstances, or receive direct communication from spiritual realms through dreams, visions, or sudden knowing. These prophetic insights are not given for personal advantage, but as tools for guiding others through critical life decisions and helping them align with divine purposes that extend beyond their individual concerns. Many chosen individuals also discover they possess supernatural wisdom that enables them to provide counsel and guidance that transforms lives in profound ways. This wisdom is not accumulated through study alone, but flows from a direct connection to divine intelligence, allowing them to speak words that carry the power to unlock understanding, dissolve confusion, and illuminate pathways that lead to spiritual breakthrough and life transformation. The sacred crucible of divine preparation. The path of the divinely chosen is invariably marked by seasons of intense testing and refinement that would crush ordinary souls, but serve to strengthen and purify those who have been selected for supernatural service. These trials are not punishments, but sacred crucibles designed to burn away everything that might interfere with the clear transmission of divine power through human vessels. Like Job, who endured unimaginable suffering yet emerged with deeper faith and greater spiritual authority, chosen souls must pass through fires that prove the authenticity of their calling. These periods of testing often involve the temporary removal of earthly supports and comforts, forcing chosen individuals to discover the sufficiency of divine provision and the reliability of supernatural guidance. They may experience seasons of financial difficulty that teach them to trust in heaven's ability to provide for their needs, relationship challenges that deepen their dependence on divine love, or health crises that demonstrate the reality of supernatural healing power. Each trial is carefully calibrated to produce specific spiritual developments that will be essential for their future ministry. The intensity of these testing periods often correlates directly with the magnitude of the divine assignment waiting to be fulfilled. Souls destined for significant spiritual influence must be proven capable of maintaining their integrity and faithfulness under extreme pressure, ensuring that when they eventually step into positions of spiritual authority, their character has been thoroughly tested and their dependence on divine strength has been firmly established. These trials serve as both preparation and validation, confirming that the chosen individual is ready to handle the responsibilities that accompany supernatural calling. During these refining seasons, chosen souls often experience supernatural encounters that provide encouragement and confirmation of their divine purpose. They may receive visitations from angelic beings, prophetic dreams that reveal future victories, or direct communication from divine sources that reassure them of heaven's continued presence and support. These supernatural interventions serve as spiritual anchors during storms, reminding them that their current sufferings are temporary preparations for eternal significance. The ancient lineage of mystical birthdays. Throughout the hidden annals of spiritual history, certain dates have repeatedly produced individuals who shaped the course of human destiny through their connection to supernatural power. These mystical anniversaries serve as recurring portals through which heaven selects and deploys agents of divine transformation. The 1st of January carries the energy of new beginnings and divine leadership, often producing souls who are called to pioneer new spiritual movements or lead communities through seasons of significant transition and change. Those born on January 1st frequently report experiencing powerful spiritual downloads during their birthday celebrations, receiving visions of future ministries, or supernatural confirmations of leadership roles they are destined to fulfill. They are the divine initiators, the cosmic pioneers who are sent to break new ground in the advancement of spiritual consciousness on Earth. Their presence in any organization or community tends to catalyze growth, innovation, and positive change in ways that often surprise even them with their supernatural effectiveness. The mysterious energy of July 8th creates souls who serve as bridges between the earthly and celestial realms, possessing an unusual ability to commune with spiritual beings and translate heavenly messages into language that earthbound humans can understand. These individuals often report regular supernatural encounters throughout their lives, from childhood visitations by guardian angels to adult experiences of prophetic revelation that guide their major life decisions and ministry direction. November 11th, with its mystical repetition of the number 1, produces souls who are marked for unique spiritual assignments that require them to stand alone when necessary, but never feel truly isolated because of their intimate connection with divine presence. These are the spiritual warriors, the heavenly soldiers who are deployed into situations where darkness has gained significant influence and supernatural intervention is required to restore the balance of spiritual power. The sacred science of numerical destiny. The ancient mystics understood that numbers are not merely human inventions for counting and calculation, but divine languages that carry within their mathematical structure the very blueprints of cosmic order. Your birth date, when decoded through the sacred science of biblical numerology, reveals layers of meaning that extend far beyond conventional understanding. Each number carries its own spiritual frequency, and the combination of numbers in your birth date creates a unique vibrational signature that aligns you with specific aspects of divine purpose and cosmic responsibility. The number 3, which appears in March 3rd births, resonates with the frequency of divine creativity and resurrection power, connecting these souls directly to the life-giving energy that spoke the universe into existence. The number 5, prominent in May 5th births, carries the vibration of divine grace and supernatural favor, marking these individuals as recipients of unusual heavenly protection and providential guidance. The mystical 7 of July 7th births resonates with completion and perfection, identifying these souls as vessels for divine wisdom and spiritual understanding. When we examine the deeper mathematical patterns hidden within significant birth dates, we discover that they often align with biblical chapters and verses that contain prophetic descriptions of the very spiritual qualities and missions these individuals are destined to manifest. This is not coincidence, but evidence of a supernatural design that extends across time and space, weaving individual human destinies into the larger tapestry of divine purpose with mathematical precision that defies human comprehension. The sacred. Mathematics of divine timing also explains why certain souls feel irresistibly drawn to specific biblical passages or spiritual concepts that seem to speak directly to their innermost being. Their birth dates have attuned them to particular frequencies of divine truth, creating resonance between their souls and certain aspects of heavenly revelation. This spiritual resonance serves as an internal compass, guiding them toward the scriptural foundations that will support and inform their earthly ministries. The mystical communion of divine solitude. Many chosen souls experience extended periods of isolation that serve purposes far beyond what their earthly minds can initially comprehend. These seasons of mystical solitude are not evidence of divine abandonment, but sacred retreats orchestrated by heaven itself to prepare vessels for assignments that require unusual spiritual depth and supernatural authority. Like Jesus, who spent 40 days alone in the wilderness before beginning his public ministry, chosen individuals must pass through their own desert experiences where earthly distractions are stripped away and divine communion becomes their primary source of sustenance and guidance. During these periods of sacred isolation, supernatural encounters often intensify as the reduced noise of earthly activity creates clearer channels for heavenly communication. Chosen souls may receive detailed visions of their future ministries, prophetic insights into global spiritual conditions, or direct instructions regarding specific assignments they will be called to undertake. These divine briefings are essential, preparations that could not occur while the individual remains embedded in the constant demands and distractions of normal social interaction. The loneliness that accompanies these seasons of preparation is actually a form of spiritual labor, as the soul undergoes a profound transformation that realigns every aspect of its being with divine frequency. This process can feel emotionally difficult because it involves the dissolution of earthly attachments and the development of supernatural dependencies that operate according to heavenly rather than human logic. The chosen individual learns to find fulfillment in divine companionship rather than human approval, discovering that their deepest needs can only be satisfied through communion with celestial intelligence. These periods of mystical solitude also serve to develop the spiritual muscles of faith and trust that will be essential when the chosen individual eventually steps into their destined role. They learn to navigate by divine guidance alone, to trust supernatural provision over earthly resources, and to maintain peace and purpose even when external circumstances appear chaotic or discouraging. These are not natural human abilities, but supernatural graces that must be developed through direct experience of divine faithfulness during seasons when no earthly help is available. The prophetic calendar of divine deployment. Each month of the year carries its own spiritual significance within the cosmic calendar of divine deployment, creating specific seasons when heaven releases different types of chosen souls into earthly service. January births often produce divine initiators and spiritual pioneers who are destined to begin new movements or establish foundations for future spiritual developments. These souls carry within them the fresh energy of new beginnings and the supernatural courage necessary to break through established patterns that have become obstacles to spiritual progress. February births frequently manifest as souls called to ministry of divine love and supernatural healing, their entrance into the world timed to coincide with the season when earthly love is celebrated, serving as reminders that divine love transcends all human limitations and can heal the deepest wounds of human experience. Their very existence serves as a testimony to heaven's unwavering commitment to restoration and redemption of broken humanity. March births, especially those occurring on mystically significant dates, often carry the frequency of resurrection, power, and creative breakthrough, their arrival synchronized with the season of spring awakening to remind the world that divine life always triumphs over death. and that supernatural creativity can transform even the most barren circumstances into gardens of possibility and hope. The summer births of June, July, and August tend to produce souls called to ministries of spiritual illumination and divine wisdom, their entry into the world coinciding with the season of maximum natural light to symbolize their destined role as bearers of supernatural enlightenment in a world struggling with spiritual darkness and confusion. The eternal significance of temporal coordinates. Your birth date serves as more than a simple marker of your entry into earthly existence. It functions as a cosmic coordinate that identifies your unique position within the eternal purposes of divine intelligence. This temporal fingerprint connects you to spiritual frequencies that have been resonating across dimensions since before the foundation of the world, marking you as a participant in cosmic events that extend far beyond the boundaries of your individual human experience. Understanding the mystical significance of your birth date provides context for the unique challenges, opportunities, and supernatural encounters that have characterized your life journey. It explains why certain spiritual truths resonate so deeply within your soul, why you feel called to specific forms of service or ministry, and why your presence in particular situations seems to catalyze supernatural activity or divine intervention that would not have occurred without your participation. This knowledge also provides courage and confidence for embracing assignments that may seem overwhelming when viewed from purely human perspectives. When you understand that your very existence was planned and timed by infinite wisdom to fulfill purposes that contribute to the advancement of divine kingdom on earth, you can step forward in faith knowing that supernatural resources and heavenly support are guaranteed for all who align themselves with their destined calling. The recognition of your divinely ordained birth timing also creates appropriate humility regarding your role in cosmic purposes that extend far beyond your individual significance. You are neither accidentally present nor independently capable, but rather a carefully selected and supernaturally equipped instrument through which heaven chooses to accomplish specific aspects of eternal purpose during your temporary assignment on earth. The sacred responsibility of divine recognition. With the recognition of your mystical birth date and chosen status comes the sacred responsibility to align your earthly existence with the heavenly purposes that determined your temporal coordinates. This alignment requires ongoing surrender of personal preferences to divine priorities, consistent cultivation of spiritual sensitivity through prayer and meditation, and courageous obedience to supernatural guidance even when it leads in directions that contradict conventional wisdom or social expectations. The development of your unique spiritual gifts requires dedicated cultivation through study, practice, and mentorship by others who have walked similar paths of divine calling. These supernatural abilities are not automatic, but must be developed through cooperation with divine grace, allowing heaven to teach you how to steward the spiritual power that has been entrusted to your care. The effectiveness of your eventual ministry depends largely on your willingness to submit to this ongoing process of spiritual development and character refinement. Building relationships with other chosen souls who share similar calling creates networks of mutual support and encouragement that are essential for navigating the unique challenges that accompany divine assignment. These spiritual family connections provide accountability, wisdom, and practical assistance that enable each member to fulfill their individual calling while contributing to larger purposes that require coordinated effort among multiple chosen vessels. The faithful stewardship of your divine calling also requires regular seasons of spiritual retreat and renewal where you can receive fresh guidance, process new revelations, and maintain the intimate connection with divine intelligence that serves as the foundation for all supernatural ministry. These times of sacred communion are not optional additions to busy schedules. but essential requirements for maintaining the spiritual vitality necessary for effective service in divine purposes. The cosmic convergence of purpose and timing. Sabatitihi, we approach the culmination of this mystical revelation. Recognize that your discovery of these truths about divine birth dates and chosen purposes has occurred at precisely the moment heaven intended for this knowledge to reach your consciousness. This is not accidental timing, but supernatural coordination designed to prepare you for the next phase of your spiritual journey and divine assignment. The ancient prophecies speak of times when chosen souls would be awakened to their true identity and called forth to fulfill destinies that have waited throughout generations for their proper season of manifestation. We are living in such times when the veil between earthly and heavenly realms grows increasingly thin and supernatural activity accelerates in preparation for cosmic events that will transform the spiritual landscape of human existence. Your role in these approaching spiritual developments was determined before your birth and encoded within the mystical significance of your entry date into earthly existence. The supernatural gifts, unusual experiences, and divine encounters that have marked your life journey have been preparing you for assignments that will soon require the unique combination of abilities and perspectives that only you possess among all humanity. The convergence of your personal spiritual maturity with the cosmic timing of these approaching events creates unprecedented opportunities for supernatural impact and divine service that extend far beyond anything you might have imagined possible during your earthly existence. Heaven is calling forth its chosen agents for deployment into situations that require immediate response from those who have been prepared through lifetimes of testing, training, and spiritual development. Conclusion: embracing your mystical destiny. The sacred calendar has spoken your name through the mystical coordinates of your birth date, marking you as one who carries within your very existence the potential for supernatural transformation of circumstances, communities, and individual lives that you will encounter during your earthly mission. This knowledge places upon you both tremendous privilege and profound responsibility to live worthy of the divine selection that determined the precise moment of your arrival into human form. Trust in the supernatural wisdom that orchestrated every detail of your life journey, from the timing of your birth to the spiritual encounters that have shaped your understanding of divine purposes. Allow this mystical knowledge to fill you with confidence as you step forward into assignments that may challenge every aspect of your earthly understanding, but will be perfectly suited to the supernatural abilities and heavenly support that accompany your chosen status. Remember that you are never alone in this cosmic assignment, for the same divine intelligence that selected your birth date continues to oversee every aspect of your earthly service, providing guidance, protection, and supernatural resources exactly when they are needed. Your willingness to embrace this mystical destiny contributes not only to your individual spiritual fulfillment, but to the advancement of divine purposes that will bless countless souls across generations yet to come. If this revelation has reached the depths of your soul and awakened recognition of your own divine calling, know that this moment was orchestrated by cosmic intelligence for precisely this purpose. Subscribe to the Light of Wisdom to continue receiving these mystical transmissions that illuminate the hidden pathways of spiritual destiny. Share this message with others who may be searching for understanding of their own chosen status, and leave a comment sharing the date of your birth, so we can explore together the sacred significance of your cosmic coordinates. Until we meet again in the realm where all mysteries are revealed, remember that your earthly existence carries eternal significance that will echo throughout the ages of divine purpose.